doing today? My name's Renee and I am a librarian at the Ocean County Library in Jackson, and today we are going to make a little Baby Yoda keychain. So it's actually pretty simple, but it's also very cute. First, I'm just going to go over the materials you need. We will need 3 different kinds of felt. You don't need much, so you absolutely can use scraps if you have it laying around. You'll need some sort of tan version, a brown, I picked this fuzzy brown felt fabric we had in the craft cabinet, and a green. Baby Yoda is actually lighter green than this, but whenever I'm making a keychain or something to go on my keys, I do like to go with a darker color just so it doesn't get dirty so easily. We have our felt. We need a magic marker or a Sharpie to trace our Baby Yoda. I have scissors. I have some cotton balls to use this stuffing. And we have a little bit of twine for the keychain. And we have a hot glue gun. I have some extra glue just in case we need that. And we have some white acrylic paint. And in lieu of using a paintbrush, I'm going to use these tiny little toothpicks just because we will not need much for that. First, we are going to make our tracing of Baby Yoda. So I'm going to set these 2 fabrics aside for now. And we are just going to use this nice green that we have. I freehand drew Baby Yoda here, but I will absolutely put a template of this in our notes for FanNation so you all can get that and you can print it out and use it. So we can just do kind of a gentle little tracing of Baby Yoda here. So we will need 2 of these just because this is going to be a stuffed Baby Yoda. And at the end, once you line them up, if you need to trim any edges, you can absolutely do that once he is glued. You can use any scissors. Usually with felt, you want to use like a more hefty fabric scissor. So you would just go ahead and start cutting very gently just around his tracing. Once you are done with cutting Baby Yoda out, he will look like this. So we now have 2 cute little Baby Yoda felt cutouts. So that is first and foremost, so we're going to set them aside. You are also going to need some little Baby Yoda ears. So that's what our tan fabric is for. The inside of his ear that's actually just like a little bit of a different color. We'll take our marker and we'll do the same thing we did. And if at any point you need to pause this video to cut Baby Yoda out, if you're just following along, you can pause it and take as much time as you need. So we have little Baby Yoda ears here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take our time. So we're just going to shape that little ear up. And this little one here. 2 little Baby Yoda ears. Perfect. I'm just going to flip this over so nobody can see my little markings on here. These ears are just going to go right in here. And if you don't like their size, you can feel free to be as creative with this project as you want. You can make them a little smaller, you can make them a little larger, whatever works for you. We have that ready. So we've got those felt pieces and we have our brown fabric. This fabric, you can really use any color that you want his robe to be, but if you're going for a traditional Yoda look, we're gonna go with a darker brown, which I have right here. You can eyeball it or you can measure it to probably about maybe 3 inches to start. And you can make it probably about 4 to 6 inches long. You can take your ruler and you can measure that out, and then you can just cut a nice size. Now you don't have to be too perfectionist about this because this is for Baby Yoda's robe, and while we're making that, we can trim this up as we need to. You only need 1 single piece of fabric, so we have that here. So I'm just going to set that aside over here with Baby Yoda. Another thing we're going to need at the end is just a little piece of yarn. You can use yarn, you can use string, you can use whatever you like. I had some of this nice twine, so I'm going to cut a piece of that for our keychain. And we are going to start building our Baby Yoda. And one important thing is to make sure your outline just so it looks nice and seamless. Your outline just goes on the inside. First, I'm just gonna run a little bead of some of this hot glue right around the bottom. Now just be careful using hot glue. It is hot, but it dries really quickly, and that's what's really good for this little project we're working on now. We're just going to glue about half of Baby Yoda to start with, and you can start from the bottom, you can start from the top, whatever works for you. And I'm just gonna build like a little tunnel here in between Baby Yoda's arms. And we're gonna take our cotton ball, I'm gonna rip it up a little bit, and we're just gonna stuff it down here to give him a nice little shape. Perfect. We're gonna rip some more cotton, stuff a little bit more in there. If any comes out the side, we can clean that up with some hot glue when we are finishing gluing our edges here. So, okay, so let's start going around for one ear, and it looks like I have one ear bigger than the other, but that is okay because at the end we're going to trim him up and make him look like he has some nice cleaner lines. I'm just gonna hold that down for a couple seconds. It's not totally dry, but it's dry enough where we can continue to stuff him. You can really use whatever you like to stuff the inside of him with to give it a little more full-bodied look. You can use pillow stuffing, you can use really anything like leftover yarn, whatever you have handy. I just figured cotton balls might be the easiest if you might have them at home in your cabinet. We're finishing him, putting him together here, and just be really careful while you're finishing him up here because you don't have as much room to play with. So you don't want to go ahead, you don't want to burn your finger. So just take your time. Just going to keep running this bead along here. It might bubble out, but that's okay. You can trim it up as we go along. I'm just going to look around at my Baby Yoda, and I see here that we have a little bit of a seam here. So I'm just going to push that cotton ball real gently in. And I'm just gonna build together that seam with some of this hot glue. I'm just gonna set him down, figure out what side I want to be the front. I think I'm going to go with this side to be the front, and we'll clean him up once all of this glue is significantly drier. I'm going to take one ear, make sure the area with your marker on it is on the bottom, and I'm just going to run a little bit of hot glue on the bottom there. Gently flip it over and lay it down here. And we're going to do the same thing with the other side. I actually like this one a little better. So we're going to use that one. We're going to run some hot glue on there. We're going to go ahead and see how that looks on there. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to turn him around sideways a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and cut another one. You can make his eyes as big or small as you like. I'm going to go a little bit on the bigger side. We're going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back. And you can just attach them right on here. And just press them down. Press it down so it doesn't have any edges coming up. There we go. Here, I'm just going to take my scissors, get some of this excess. We're going to give Baby Yoda his little white pupils. So I have you can use a tiny paintbrush, but I'm choosing to use this little toothpick. Get a little bit of white acrylic paint or whatever kind of white you have laying around. Even if you have some white out, that would work. And we're going to give Baby Yoda his little white pupil. Now it's time to come back to our little brown piece of felt. So my felt has two different textures on it. Yours does not have to have that, but as you can see, the one side's a little fuzzier than the other. So I'm going to just gently fold this side over to make it the top of Baby Yoda's wrap that he has on here. So we're just gonna bundle him up. So I'm going to bring him just right to the edge and just see how much we need here. So we probably only need about that much. So I'm going to cut this down just because we don't want to make it too bulky. We can put Baby Yoda a little closer to one side. I'm going to fold him in here. Okay, so you see how that has the nice little layer up top? So it almost looks like his collar. So now that we have him lined up, we're just going to put some hot glue over him. Sorry, Baby Yoda, I hope that's not too hot for you. We're just gonna hold it on there for a second, probably about 10-15 seconds. Once that's pretty dry, we're going to fold over this other side. I'm just going to let it kind of gradually fall to the one side. While we're doing that and letting that dry, we're going to gather up our little pieces for our keychain. So if you want to make him into just kind of a non-keychain, just like something little to sit with your books or on your desk, you can do that. I'm going to continue to kind of cut him down and make him more keychain size. So we're just going to take a little bit of room off of the bottom of Baby Yoda's robe here, and we're just going to glue that together. Now we have our keychain ring, if you have one, and we have our piece of twine or piece of string, whatever you decide to use. So now I'm going to use my little, my little string I have here, and I'm just going to knot it in an area of your liking, however long you want to make it, that's totally fine. So let's just cut the bottom off this. Now, you can do two things with this. I'm choosing to pull a little bit on the felt up top here for Baby Yoda, and I'm just going to try to stick. So I may just have to cut a little bit off the top here. There we go. Okay, so now his head looks a little bit better. So I'm just going to stick a little dab of glue right on the back here of his head. And just be careful doing this because this, you don't want to burn yourself again. So now Baby Yoda can be an ornament. He can be a decoration. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. You can attach your keyring. This looks like an extra long Baby Yoda keychain, so you can make him as short as you like. You may just need to play with your string a little bit. He can be a Christmas ornament. You can make Baby Yoda ornaments for all of the Star Wars fans in your family. This is Baby Yoda, and this was our Baby Yoda stuffed keychain craft for FanNation, and I am so happy that you came along with me. So here's our Baby Yoda. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today and participating. We're so glad that you were able to come.